Today I'm cooking beetroot and its greens, and I want to join them together in some sort of a simple salad. We can see that the beetroot is very fresh, as the leaves are still fresh themselves, and secondly, they are delicious. Never waste them. That's the best way of keeping your herbs and leaves fresh. Do not wash them, wrap them in a kitchen towel, and they would keep very well in a fridge for a good week. Right, so we're going to use all the greens, so both bunches. And I'm going to use only one bunch of those beets, and I save the other bunch for later. So, and yeah, dealing with herbs is always a bit messy because, you know, all these bunches of herbs, by the time you wash them, chop them, they seem to be everywhere around the fridge, on the floor, everywhere, little pieces of herbs. Sometimes I wish I have a little helper, some magical sous chef who does all that boring work for me. Basically try to keep them in order like that, so all stalks are together like that, because we're going to cook stalks first, so you don't want them all mixed up. So we're going to use only that much of beetroot for our purposes. Beetroot, it's a messy business, so don't wear your best clothes, that's for sure. I will cook my little beetroots in a minimal amount of water to keep the goodness in. Of course, the oven would be even better, but I don't want to run the oven because of that very small amount of them. As the beetroots are cooking, we quickly prepare our beetroot greens. Right, so we're going to cook stalks first because they take slightly more, you know, time to cook than actual green tips. All right, we want a neat bouquet here. It is a bit of a fiddly business, I must say. That's the herbs for you, but don't we just love them? Small neat pieces. We need to act fast because onion is already frying. I could think of a few things I could do with those beetroot greens. Make them in a summer soup, a green borscht, what we call. Or I could have just fried them with an egg. So I would have making it for myself. Just would simply, you know, wilt it all and add an egg or yogurt and garlic. Good idea to turn beets on the other side at some point, as they're only partially covered with water. It's probably 15 minutes and it's done, just like a potato. So I would rather slightly undercook it than overcook it. So what I will do, I'll switch the beetroot off. I'll pour the water out and leave them, the little beetroots, under the lid for a few minutes, and they will continue cooking. But this way they will definitely do not overcook. Chop and add as we chop. Don't cook it for too long because we want to retain some of that green color. Red beets, slightly crunchy, and tiny bit more black pepper. If I would be cooking for myself, just everyday kind of quick lunch, I would stop right here. We actually will stop. I'm switching off, and I would simply add a couple of eggs. Mix them through, let the eggs cook. Super. This is the base of our salad, flat dish. Just actually add a little bit of olive oil to it. Just drizzle neatly a little bit. Well, not that little. All right, that's good. Okay, now let's deal with the beetroot. At this point it's going to get a bit messy and your hands going to look like some sort of terrible red nails and everything, but it washes away quickly. Less contact the vegetable has with water, the better it's for retaining its nutrients. Ideally, I could have actually baked those little beetroots. Look at my hands. Right, quickly chop beetroot in those largish pieces. Very sweet. I love beetroot and I can eat it just as it is, but obviously we're going to jazz up it a little bit. Right, now olive oil on that beetroot, squeeze of lemon. I'm not bothering with salt, but looks nice and glossy, very shiny. So 2 cloves of garlic here, it's maybe 100 ml of yogurt. We'll see if we use all of use sour cream or creme fraiche instead of yogurt. Tiny bit of salt. I fancy to add this a little bit of Georgian spice, but you can do just dry coriander or allspice or any spice you fancy. Cumin, maybe pinch of curry. Subtle flavor to it. It smells very nice too. Gorgeous walnuts. I'll chop them, let me see, in large long pieces I fancy. Ready to assemble a fun bit. Quite garlicky, just what we intended. We can add a touch of olive oil here actually. Anything can be improved with it. We're going to drizzle a little bit here on our veggies. That actually would be enough, and this is a nice dish as it is, just like that, with this garlicky yogurt. It's actually not my invention, it's a classic combo. So we dripped it here and there. Beetroot pieces now. Few here and there, haphazardly. Right, mostly around the edges, I think. More yogurt drizzle here and there, everywhere. Walnuts now, and I have a tiny piece of green onion left, and so I chopped it for some color. All right, a bit of feta cheese. It's a goat's feta cheese. A few sort of crumbs of that here and there.